Hey, you got a fire in your kitchen.
I know. I can't even start a frickin'. I can't even heat up a pizza without setting something on fire. I gotta be honest with you.
Which way am I going?
It's
Right.
It's one of these things that's just, I mean, growing up, this never happened at my mother's home. But
all right, sorry guys, I had a lot of
can't keep a clean
technical
oven.
difficulties.
Technical difficulties. You're lucky that that's nothing compared to what I'm dealing with.
Dude, I'm yeah, I had a lot of problems here getting online. But anyway, I'm in this feeder for Hawthorne. We're going to talk a little bit about the contest.
Oh, you're in the feeder.
Okay. Who the hell did I pick here? Yeah, I need the 7 here. Some bomb hit the first race. Oh, you got the 8?
No,
I figured you would, Carl Fry.
I don't play the horses.
Now taking 5th is moved past Bell of the Ball, who's under a ride. It's back end of the field.
If you could shoot horses, you'd do that, wouldn't you, Dylan?
No, the next time I'm playing is the
my 7
2-day contest.
Is up by a length and a half, 22.
Oh, the 2-day pick and pray.
Quarter mile.
Yeah.
Nicely. It's Spiritual Lady in
all right, my 7 is kind of like in that third flight back there, in the purple or blue, whatever color that is. And it looks like he's going to clunk up for second. Son of a bitch. Or nothing. Probably nothing.
Sprinting away. It's Spiritual Lady who is now
not switching leads. Heads all fucked up. Okay, so that was a bad pick.
Inside this final furlong, Spiritual Lady, Spring Magic continues to chase up on the outside.
Did any of you guys have this horse?
Also, Irish Jackson.
No.
Spiritual Lady got right to the front. And just
all right, let's see how many people had that.
Nicely, Spiritual Lady wins it over Spring Magic. Then came.
So what I like to say so far in this contest,
in 1 minute 11 seconds.
I am sucking hind tit. So
hey, DeCastro,
here it
are you
is.
going to Hawthorne?
Well, of course I am. It's in my friggin' backyard.
I guess you're right.
Are you coming out? Are you coming out for it?
I'm like 83% sure coming.
Okay. All right. Little. What is that? That's 5 to 6. Yeah, I like it. We'll be here for you. I got you covered from a transportation standpoint. Whatever you need, man. Whatever you need. Nice. The Shraffmaster's coming, so I can't offer you the guest bedroom. Unless you two want to, work something out between yourselves.
Okay, one guy had that.
I'm still on, Steve. I'm just taking care of the minor fire in the kitchen.
Yeah, one guy had that winner.
Okay.
So I don't think that's going to hurt me too bad. They're giving out 4 seats. I'm 0 for 2. So this guy, I didn't even get to watch the race because I was trying to get on. It looks like a $19 horse. Yeah, won the first race. Blonde Jack, which he was the only guy that had that one. Okay. So anyway, the Hawthorne contest is going to be a good time.
It's such a great contest. I love it. I'm like on my 10th year of Hawthorne Contest, I think. Maybe not 10. Maybe not 10. Maybe like 8.
There's no entry fee. I mean, the entry fee is your bankroll.
No entry fee and a nice little kicker prize.
What's
the time around?
What's the kicker this time?
You know what? I got to be honest with you. I don't know if Emily's joining us, but I'll try to get it explained to me. But I think there's 10,000 for whoever pulls together the best total bankroll over the 3 days.
Oh, I did read about that, and there's money involved with that, prize money.
Yeah, there's a nice little kicker. I'll see if I can look that up while we're working here.
All right. So, only one person had the 8. So these pick and pray feeders are not my favorite contests. for obvious reasons. You're kind of handicapping on the fly. You can't see how the track's playing. You can't, there's a lot of different things post parade or when they're in the paddock.
You can't get distracted by new information. That's what I would say.
Okay.
I actually can make a case that I like them. All right. I'm sorry, Steve. I misquoted. So first off, if you win one of these, you get $1 million bonus if you win the NHC. So you get to be the bonus.
Okay.
You get the bonus deal. And then secondly, a $10,000 cash prize for the biggest single day bankroll on either Friday, Saturday, or Sunday. So that's kind of a rich get richer kind of prize there, but okay.
So we'll have, Frank
Dylan
Dylan, yeah, he said he's gonna. He said something about bad service.
Okay.
I don't know where he's at.
All right. Do we want to start talking about these races, or what do you want to do?
Yeah, let's talk about this next race.
This next race coming up.
Trying to get Emily on. Emily, I'm not sure where Emily is. I did text her, and it was a spontaneous thing. I texted her literally like 30 minutes ago, asking her to come on. So I don't know what she's doing. She might be walking her dog in the park or something. She likes to do that.
Her dog is so sweet.
Yeah, you see that thing?
Dog. Yeah, he's been over the house. He's met Popeye.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah,
that's great.
She lives 5 minutes from me.
You got to be kidding.
Yeah.
How about that?
She was at that party I invited you to.
Yeah, which
that would have been a haul for you to come down.
Which it was. I could have. The thing with that party was it was like early, wasn't it?
It's a morning. Yeah, it's a morning affair.
Yeah, and I was preoccupied the previous night. If you know what I mean. And then it just didn't work out. But all right, so let's take a look at this next race. I don't know how much time we got. We got 3
minutes on the 3 minutes on the screen, which means about 18 minutes in real life.
All right, so I landed here. Let's look and see who. Okay, I picked Spirit of Victory, and
okay.
So the reason why, let's take a look. Why did I like Spirit of Victory? Okay, it's 9-2. It's a little bit of an overlay. It's kind of an out of the box pick. I usually like horses that that actually have a late kick routing on the Tapeta over there at Gulfstream. It seems like it's hard to wire out there. So you're asking,
I would agree with that.
Why the hell did I pick a horse stretching out from 5 panels? Well, it's routed before, and it was able to rate a little bit just off the pace. And at least that race on June 21st, it was able to, kind of like track and then overtake the leader. But typically I don't like to pick a horse like this stretching out. I like horses that just have a big kick. I thought about the 9 and the 6, I believe, who was also, the 6 was also a late runner. These are good bombs I would definitely use underneath on a trifecta. They don't like to win. None of these horses like to win. This is a non-2 life. This one's 1 for 24. And of course the 9 is 1 for 16. But I thought that the 8 was pretty fast routing, and if it can get that same trip, I could hopefully hold off the closers this time.
Yeah,
and that's what I was thinking.
Hear you.
Now I'm getting an overlay, so I'm happy with that.
I hear you. So for me, like the favorites look tough, right? Like, Calming Sea has run big numbers over this track before, ran decent on turf, although cheap at the Meadowlands. I don't even know what to think about that. He was in for 7,500 2 in life and couldn't win. That's not good. And then Citrus Belle is also, she's pretty tough too. So so the chalk are decent and everything like that. Listen, a lot of these horses, including your 8, have had a few too many tries at it without getting it done. You know what I'm saying?
Of course.
And so my horse is going to be the 10, Starship Legend, who's honestly is taking money right now. Carlos Perez, not a bad trainer. They paid $40,000 for this filly. Won in her second start, was off like for a year comes back 2 races, really like not good at all, and then kind of gets a prep on September 22nd. I'm going to call it a prep, going 5.5, runs like, like isn't completely, I mean, she finished dead last, so let's not mince words here. However, what got me to her, Steve, October 18th, 2 for 40, 47 and 4 workout. Okay. October 26th, 13 out of 114, 48 and 1. Just a little bit of a wake up in the morning.
Great point.
And that's going to get me, that's going to get me there on,
by the way,
on this one.
The race routing many moons ago in February of 23 was really good. That's the Maiden Breaker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And,
that's so.
And had some issues routing on Tapeta the only time. So,
yeah.
Man, 100%. Again, I speed capped this. It's a feeder. I'm going to buy in the contest anyway if I don't get in. I don't like to spend a lot of time on the early birds. It's just
I guess
but this is a great pick. This is a great pick.
I guess I'm just saying in a non-winners of 2, I got a horse that couldn't get it done who's 1 for 27, that's the 4, 1 for 11, that's the 6-5 favorite chalk. 1 for 24 is the 6. I guess you could make a similar case on the 7, but the 7 has, the 7's kind of proven to be pretty mediocre, I think. So
and you know what? Considering that the 8 is now 3-1 from 7-2, and your horse is a whopping 13-1. That's great value based on everything that you just did.
It's worth a little.
And if I had the opportunity, I would definitely switch my pick. So I'm just letting you know that.
Well,
but I can't.
That's the nature of the pick and pray, right?
Right, but I can't. You're a great price right now at 14-1. So anybody out there listening, maybe do an exact at the very least, or throw that 10 on all your exotics because it makes a ton of sense here. All right, let's see what happens.
And Gracia, LTE Stark Winter, and Calming Sea.
The other thing I'll say is I don't think you really want rail trips on this racetrack. I find the horses from the outside tend to stay out of trouble, and it seems to just go better for horses from the outside.
Yeah, and Tapeta
on the Tapeta.
You're 100% right.
Tapeta is I don't know if you know this, Steve, but Tapeta is the Latin word for carpet.
They're in the gate.
Really?
Yes.
Well, you learn something new every day.
Michael Dickinson.
Okay, so I didn't really want to be there. All right, slow it.
You're a little fresh right now. Now you want to be somewhere different than where I am. Holy Moses! Well,
come on. Are you the gray?
Get your trip notes going on the 10. No, I'm in the like bluish, purplish. I'm in like 5th right now.
Okay, I see you. Okay, better than the gray horse though.
I don't know who's riding the gray, but he managed to get as far outside as you could possibly get from.
Okay, I relaxed a little bit. You're getting a little bit keen now. You're okay. You're okay there.
Yeah, it's like don't overcorrect. Just slip into that. See, now we're oh my goodness. Yeah.
Then it's a line of 3
horses. Let's see what happens.
I don't have much faith in my
and pick and pray. You're rooting right now. We're rooting for the favorite. That's 6-5.
You are rooting for the favorite. That's exactly right.
Right. This 4 wouldn't be good. Oh, in this contest it won't hurt because nobody picked it. But now here comes. Look at your horse.
All right, like just go with it.
Look at this.
Just go with it.
Look at this at 15-1. Now here comes my 8. Let's see what happens. Did you move too early?
This is. Oh yeah. 100%. This is.
Oh my God! They're all.
This is a false indicator.
Now here's the fate. Now.
Oh look at! Oh my God! The one got an amazing.
The one
trip.
got the
look
dream trip. Now can my 8 run it down? Who's out on the outside? The 7. Hell, I'm not going to hit the board. The 6
toward the inside. Anonymous source. They are.
All right, here comes the 7 at 10-1. That's not good. The 6 is 20-1. I don't know who has those.
Citrus Bell to win it.
Oh, you're a 1-7 is no. 1-7 is no harm, no foul.
So again, when you're in a pick and pray, the favorite is your best friend.
And 4.
That's right.
It's almost like
Yeah.
you have two horses. Your 10,
rank a courageous run. I think I was right about the 10 being ready to run. I think I was.
It was weird, bro. It was the first turn was weird. You moved early, then you settled, and then you moved early again, and then it was like you ran 3 races.
That's kind of the thing, which is in this game, you've got to be willing to know that your thinking and your logic was good, even though the result was bad.
Right.
Now I had H. Figueroa on board, who's ridden all of one horse in 2024. Maybe I should have. I probably didn't handicap the jockey situation well enough.
Okay, there were a few 7s in there for the runner-up. There was, let's see, one guy picked the favorite, and he had $9. Oh, Tyler Fausto, our guy.
Oh, hi, our boy Tyler. All right.
So he had he had the one. Some of the other names on here. Let me get the leader board. So there's Tyler, right there. He had the winner. Josh Thorpe had the 7. Got Wolfson in here. Our guy.
Oh, do you know Josh from the Hawthorne, right?
Josh.
Yeah.
Josh Thorpe.
Yeah, big guy. Omaha, I think, is where he's from.
Gregory Lewis has got the.
Oh, my man, Greg.
Me and him are both 0 for 3 so far, but that's okay. Here's me. I bought 2 entries, and I'm not doing well. But you're one race away here from the money. And the next race will be Aqueduct. I don't know how quick. All right, we got some time for that one, so we can move on to Aqueduct PPs and take a peek at that in a little bit. Let's see here. So the contest for Hawthorne's Black Friday. That's a $300 bankroll.
Yep.
For everybody out there. And then
it's a 300, 500, 500. I think
3,
is what
5,
it is.
and 5.
Mm-hmm.
And
you got about seven-ish places that you can play. I think.
Yeah, you can play at several different OTBs
all around the city.
I used to go to the Players Pub all the time because it was closest to my house. But now we got our group. We go down to Villa Park, which is we get the
crazy pour.
You get the private room or whatever with.
I feel like we're super well taken care of there.
Oh, 100%.
I think the food's good.
Yeah.
The coffee may not meet your standards, but
no, the coffee for me, there's always a problem. But what I do is I do the DoorDash. I have Starbucks delivered.
There you go.
Actually, at the Hawthorne Invitational, if you remember, I got us all cappuccinos. I don't know if you were the recipient of one of those, but Dylan took advantage of it, and I think I got Brent one, and whoever else wanted one. I can't remember if you're not a big coffee drinker, right?
I like drink 1 cup in the morning. Like and it can be absolute swill. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not like brand or anything like that. And so, which one are we on here? We're at 4 in Aqueduct.
Mm-hmm.
So I was going to talk about Hawthorne a little bit more. I think the nice part about that is all the flexibility you have, because there are no mandatories. You're the only rule is that you must bet your full bankroll, right? So if you buy in with 300, you got to bet 300, and if that means one $300 bet on the last available race of the day, that's what it is. If it means, by the way, our friend Frank, if it means one $300 bet on the first race of the day, I'm always amazed by him. Sometimes that's his best opinion, and he's not leaving anything on the table.
Got to play aggressive, right?
If that's what he believes, yeah.
Cool thing is you can buy 2 tickets. You can get aggressive, go all in on one. The other one, If you want to do 10 $5 try keys,
yeah,
you can do that too.
And so I think it's you know, it's a good contest. You know, the other thing I'll say about the contest is it is so regularly scheduled, right? Like this Thanksgiving one has been going on for at least 8 or 9 years.
They used to have it at the track.
I'm certain of that, and they used to have it at the track. But it is so regularly scheduled. It's become what I would call an appointment contest for everybody.
Oh yeah.
And so you kind of know who you're up against on some levels.
Chicago racing,
you know
Stevie
who you're
D.
facing.
Chicago racing. Go through the names. Just go down the list of the players in Chicago. I mean, if you really ask me who the greatest horse players are across the country at a certain circuit, I mean, you can talk about California, you can talk about New York, Florida, maybe somewhere in the South and Kentucky, and then Chicago area. I will take the Chicago guys over anybody in the country. Maybe I'm biased.
You could be biased being from just outside of Chicago.
I consider Kenosha North Chicago.
I would agree with that.
And it's part of this. It's part of the statistics for Chicago's vacation destinations. They include. It's the last stop of the Metro.
Oh, really? You have Metro there?
Yeah, it's the last stop. I could take it all the way to Ogilvy, downtown Chicago.
Yeah. So let's do this real quick. First off, you've got NHC champions Jim Bennis and Justin Mustari, both of those Chicago guys. Mustari's too young to be called a legend at this point, but he's closing in on that designation. So Jim Jim Bennis and Justin Mustari have both won. Obviously, Frank Mustari is probably one of the most dominant players out there.
I mean,
Mike Mulvihill, Mike Mulvihill is in it on freaking everything.
Good.
Greg Lewis is now a Chicago guy. He lives in Lincoln Park now. So he's tough. And then it's the guys who come from outside who reliably show up at the Hawthorne tournaments. Like Tony Zhao will be there.
He won the Invitational.
I'm almost certain of that. He won the Invitational, right? Am I remembering that correctly?
Yeah, he did. Let's not forget about the Maven. The Maven is a tour.
Oh, yeah. No, yeah. Dave will be there. Definitely. So yeah, I mean, you've got a lot of names. You just mentioned Josh Thorpe. He's a good competitor. There's a guy I met at the last one named John Gaspar, who is really good. I think he comes in from New York, if I'm not mistaken. So it is not an easy environment to win in, but it's a lot of fun. Everybody kind of knows each other. It's a good tournament.
Yeah, it's a great tournament, and they really, the prize money, there's the way they structure it. There's no like, hey, you got to do this and you got to do that. When I go to and I love the guys at Lone Star, but I got to figure out algebra and like math problems to figure out if I'm gonna. And how I am. I get disqualified a lot at these tournaments. I don't know how. Tampa Bay, I get disqualified.
You're a DQ machine, Steve.
I'm messing up here. I mean, I'm thinking about handicapping. Oh, I forgot to bet an extra $5 in race 2, and now I'm disqualified. So Hawthorne, you can make $1,000 $2 bet. Well, whatever the math comes out to, $2 bets, or you could go all in or do whatever. As long as you bet your bankroll, you're good.
Yep.
And if you think you're just going to make a $300 bet on a 5-to-1 shot and hope that sticks, no, you gotta hang around. So you're gonna get caught. They're gonna have a target on your back. People look at the leaderboards and they update them on a regular basis on the Hawthorne website. I've heard a lot of problems about the BCBC live. I'm glad I played at home.
They were not able to update that leaderboard particularly well. And I don't know why on earth little Hawthorne can have a relatively quick update of the leaderboard and the BCBC can't. It's inexplicable to me.
Yeah, and I know some players, I guess I won't mention names, but they're pretty upset because they had a bankroll. They want to know what they have to shoot for. And
I heard the horses were on the track with 9 minutes to go before the leaderboard was updated in the final race. I mean, there are guys who are contemplating betting $100,000.
That's ridiculous.
Or betting $50,000.
Totally ridiculous.
You know. Oh, speaking of which, I mean, a guy who bet 44,000 and lost it all was Matt Miller. He'll be at Hawthorne.
Oh, how do we forget him? He ran third. Didn't he run third though in the BCBC? One of his.
He might have run third on one ticket. I
can't remember.
Let's see here.
What's the name of the gentleman that won it?
No, Tyler Hoffman. Stephen Wells won. I got to be honest with you, I don't know much about him, and I didn't listen to any of the. Podcasts afterward where he'd have been interviewed. Okay. Stephen Wells 1, Tyler Sprague 2, Tyler Hoffman 3.
Okay.
The Maven was 8th.
Yeah, I texted the Maven privately and said, "Hey, congrats on that." And of course, my guy Texas Mike did pretty good.
Is that Mike Steinler?
Yes, it is.
Texas Mike was. Yeah, will he be at Hawthorne? That's a good question.
Well, I told him about it a little bit.
He should show up.
Let's see if I can. All right. I talked to Texas Mike for about 30 minutes the next day about how well he did.
Did he have one opinion that?
No, he had several opinions. He didn't bet aggressively enough.
Oh, okay.
Is what he told me, but he took home $80,000. So in this race here, I landed on the 9, who is 7-2.
That's exactly who I landed on. So I'll be interested to hear your logic.
Yeah, this one here. Basically, you know, it's they took that last one off the turf for 40. It's a second time blinkers angle, which I like.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And honestly, man, there's a huge jockey upgrade that's not Dylan Davis.
That's where I.
Yeah, Dylan Davis has not been riding this horse. That's K Davis. And I've made that mistake just by glancing real quick at New York PPs. I see Davis, and sometimes I assume it's Dylan Davis. But this is actually Dylan Davis on this horse. And I like that.
Katie Davis and Dylan Davis are very different.
Yes. Perfectly drawn out.
I will tell you, I am warming up to Katie a little bit, though. She's not as awful as I once thought she was. Yeah. She's a 9% junk, and she doesn't get good horse. She's working for it. Actually, what's actually fascinating is the other horse in this race that I think has a decent chance is the one who Katie Davis is aboard.
Really? Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I like the 9. Ray Handel, like me, a former Jonathan Shepard employee. Only he's successful. I feel like a couple of things on this horse, Steve. Number one, you don't have a horse who's been like in the claiming ranks for long, right? He started out in maiden special. He actually ran. I would describe him as running decent in the comebacker in 2024. At Aqueduct, he showed speed. He hung on. He was 4th. I mean, he was beaten 10 lengths, but he was 3 wide. And then I don't think it's real easy to break from the outside going a mile on dirt, getting blinkers for the first time. Like, I would just say, I'm willing to forgive that because of that weird turn at Saratoga. Do you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, that's that 1.5.
It's like an Ellis Park race.
Similar to Ellis Park.
I kind of hate those races.
Being on the rail is tough. Hey, we have a special guest. We got Texas Mike.
Oh my goodness!
What's up, buddy?
Presence of
How y'all
royalty.
doing?
We're talking about the Hawthorne contest. We're talking about the BC. We were talking about the BCBC. We were talking about how well you did. And I'm in this feeder. I'm 0 for 3. And I told, after I was 0 for 2, I said I'm sucking hind tit, and I'm continually doing that. So hopefully the 9 can win this next race for me.
But we're more concerned, Texas Mike. We want to make sure we're going to get some of that money you won at the BCBC back in the pools. That we need you at Hawthorne.
Well, unfortunately, my wife confiscated the check.
Oh, there you go. There you go. Well, then you need to be at Hawthorne to win some more.
Yeah, I guess so.
Mike, they're loading up here. I have the 9, but Mike, you're BCBC. I reiterated some of the stuff that we talked about on the phone. You hit a lot of winners. You bet good. In your opinion, you were even saying you probably should have bet a little bit more. But you still took home 80 grand and an NAC seat. So you did fantastic.
I've never done anything like this in my life before, and I'm still trying to figure out what happened. Yeah, I've always been a believer that if you're going to win these things, you got to hit long shots, and that's how I've always played it. And of course, that's a feast or famine approach.
Yeah,
there were a lot of long shots in this Breeders' Cup last weekend, and I was fortunate enough to hit 5 of them.
All right, let's continue that conversation after this 9 horse wins this next race at Aqueduct.
All set.
You got to root me on, Mike.
All right, let's listen to Chris Griffin.
And they're off. In descent,
Broke good.
With speed, so does When You're Strange in between horses with Focus Pocus. Focus Pocus. And now When You're Strange, they will press on. And When You're Strange.
Who are we rooting for?
The 9. It looks they got to be going somewhat quick.
Yeah, I think they are.
They need to be
for
going
this level.
Who's content to track right there in third.
I broke sharp and I'm relegated to last.
Yeah, it's weird. It's like is Dylan grabbing or are you?
I'm in the clear,
like,
but yeah, I was hung out.
Not that far off.
With the lone trailer now, Purist Performance. 23.
Second time blinkers angle.
The opening quarter mile, Focus.
I don't know if this
He's
horse likes
getting
blinkers.
ready to move.
Doing it easily is up by 2.
23 and 2, 1 turn mile.
Making up the ground, starts to lose ground now, is back to third.
Oh gosh, this is not looking good.
The outside, here's a rally from
I don't think so.
The back marker's got to pick it up.
This horse might beat one horse.
The outside here of the splendid one.
You got 2 5-2 shots. It looks like the 4 is just going to canter home unless the 7 comes from outer space here.
Stopping so far.
The 9 is just
it's Focus Pocus.
In his own horse race with the
horse
dead left.
Air.
The 4 is going to draw off here.
This is like where is this coming from?
And Tyler Fausto has the 4 guy at Express Bet. And of course, Josh Thorpe also has the 4, and the 4 is going to win by as many as it wants.
Oh, this is a Rudy claim that kind of came back not so great in the first start, but you know what? See, that's. I'll tell you, this game is just fascinating. Oh, you know what? Rosario. Okay. So,
and let's see, where the hell is our 9 at? I think it died. All right. So anyway, Mike.
Mike. What were some of the long shots you had?
Yeah.
So if you want to win a race at Aqueduct, you have to call Chris Griffin in advance and tell him who he should call as the winner.
Yeah, Mike. So Mike, on Friday, you made an early move. I was getting text messages. Hey, check out Texas Mike on the leaderboard. And I was like, what the hell happened? So I kind of put 2 and 2 together. But tell us how Friday went for you before you got into Saturday's play.
Yeah, I don't remember the races or the horses anymore. I remember the numbers. I think it was the first or second Breeders' Cup race I had. There was a heavy favorite in that race, if I recall. It was it the turf sprint?
Would have been the juvenile. It would have been the juvenile turf sprint, maybe.
Juvenile turf sprint. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
There was a possible DQ in that one, wasn't there? There was an inquiry.
There was an inquiry, but there was no DQ.
Okay. Yeah.
Anyway, that's one where the 4 horse went from first to last, got through on the rail.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
30 to 1 shot, and that started it off for me. And I think there was another horse that day. I still don't understand how this happened. Well, I guess I do, but I just don't expect it at the Breeders' Cup. The horse went in the gate at 20 to 1, and another one went from last to first. And I look up at the tote board after he crosses the finish line. He's 12-1.
Yeah.
You know, with the money that's bet on Breeders' Cup races, you don't expect to see that big a movement after they leave the gate, but so be it.
Okay, so I forgot. So those were two good opinions, and I thought you were on one of the Baffert horses. Maybe I was wrong about that.
Yeah, I was.
The 15-1. What didn't he?
Long shot, and then,
The Juvie.
And then two more long shots on Saturday. I started out with one and finished up with one.
And you hit a big exacta for like 10,000.
Yeah, I had. I think there was one race I hit about 30,000. I had 20,000 on the winner, 20,000 winnings, and then I had it backed up with an exacta that paid another 10.
Okay.
$50 exacta paid 10,000.
So, Mike, were you playing a lot higher than you normally play?
Oh, of course, you have to. Well, I don't.
What goes through your mind when you're betting a couple $1,000s on a horse when a couple hundred is a big bet, you know, for you?
Well, my normal bet is $20, but
$20 to thousands.
That's awesome.
$100 on the Breeders' Cup Classic, but when you get to something like the BCBC, you've got a $7,500 bankroll you're starting with. You've got in 2 days, you've got 10 races where you have to bet a minimum of $600 each.
Yep.
And I remember a few years ago, my first BCBC, I had about, I don't know, I'm making up numbers here, but I'm close. I had about 3,000 left with 2 races to go, and I bet it all on a 20-1 shot that just barely missed. Had it hit, I would have moved into the money and then into the leader top 20 and then gotten some prize money. And, after that, my normal horse race bet just doesn't give me the thrill with that.
Gotcha.
It definitely changes your outlook.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that was a great Breeders' Cup betting challenge for you. You got prize money. You got an NAC seat. Like you said, your wife's got the check, and that could be a good thing, right? She's probably prudent with the money, right?
In the background, the Christmas decorations are already going up. She's out buying more.
I love it. All right. So this next race, I'm over. I got the golden sombrero so far, but I'm on a 9-1 shot with Zayas, and they added a hood. I love the way this runner ran in June going this trip, and that was in a maiden special. It's dropping to its lowest level. It does have a negative barn switch. I don't know what to think, but I'm hoping it can wake up against these at a price. It's
I
overlay.
know you all don't follow quarter horses, and I don't all that much either.
Yeah.
But one of the big NHC players, surprisingly, is a big quarter horse fan. That's Trey Styles.
Oh, of course. We know.
He has recently started buying some quarter horses. His first one got claimed. He bought another one who's running tonight at Lone Star Park. So I'm going out to Lone Star tonight.
Watch nice. So, hey, dude, don't go grab a beer, bro. Before post, you might miss the race.
Say again?
I said don't get in line for beer before the race. You might miss it.
Oh, I know. Yeah,
that thing's over in 20-something seconds. You know what I mean?
Oh, they're not even 20 seconds. They're like 10 or 11.
Okay.
I don't know how a race caller calls a quarter horse race. You blink and it's over.
Who is the race caller for quarter horse racing over there?
Jim Byers. He does both thoroughbred and.
Oh, he does. Okay.
He does both thoroughbred and quarter horse, as Nick does at Sam Houston.
Yeah. We got a race. Anyway, Stevie D, did you have an opinion on this race? I landed on a horse I'm not so sure about with this trainer switch, but
which one is that, Steve-O?
The 4. I went to Egyptian Quest.
Yeah. So, listen, the 9 Paco makes a ton of sense. I'm totally. I'm probably chalked out here. The horse I could make a little bit of a case for to run second is the 8. You know, like this horse put up numbers over the summer that is good enough to get it done here. Last race was on the dirt, has been, you know, has been clearly on the farm, and then just had, I don't know what JWE is.
Who's gonna cut?
No idea. I mean, I am going on pure, like, you know.
And I thought I had an obscure trainer.
Yeah, so I'm going to play a 9-8 here, and hope.
Well, I'll tell you what.
Not a lot of faith, but
this 8 has some numbers on turf. The synthetic is obviously better. Throw the dirt. Yeah, this one makes a lot of sense. Dropping to the slowest level ever on this surface, and could definitely wake up here. It's a great price angle play, 100%.
I'll play a little trifecta here, 9 with the 4-8 to put your
throw the 4 in there in case I'm right, even though I've been way off. All right, let's go.
This is where I probably have the biggest challenge, right? So it's like, okay, I like the 8, right? I'm interested in the 8. I like the 8, but I also think the 9 is a dominant favorite. So what do you do there, right? You're supposed to, you know, what it seems like whenever I play the 9 with the 8 in second, the 8 go like the 9 doesn't run and the 8 ends up winning, and I feel stupid. But when I play the 8 straight, then the 9 wins and it runs 9-8, and I also feel stupid. So I guess I'm just stuck feeling stupid either way.
At Gulfstream, they've got 0 minutes to post, which means about 5 minutes.
That's
well, you know what? That was the old adage. I think they've sped things up in the last year because people.
Let me say 2 things real quickly before I drop off.
Go ahead.
First of all, I'd like to hear a discussion. It can be after I drop off as to between the BC, and the NHC, which do each of you prefer and why?
Yeah, the horses.
A lot of people have asked me, you know, how did I hit these long shots? I'll just say there's 2 things that really helped me that I think people overlook. One is a few years ago, the Daily Racing Forum started putting in time form ratings early and late. And especially on the turf, especially on big fields where you have horses that haven't been running in the same circuit. I find that late time form rating to be really helpful in choosing a long shot that might be closing fast.
Justin loves the time form ratings.
The second thing is a lot of people, especially at Breeders' Cup, they struggle with the foreign horses because the form that we have to look at is not what we're used to in the United States. But one thing I do find very helpful about the past performances on the foreign horses, especially the Europeans, is the comments. Most people,
the comments are very helpful.
Mike, hold that thought. They're loading in and they're about to go off here.
Are much better than they are on the Daily Racing Forum. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, hold that thought for about a minute.
Okay. Who are we rooting for here?
I got the 4, and the 4 broke good.
4 broke real well.
But let's see what happens.
Those 2 battling early for the lead here. Out the center, Frosty Shop also shows some early speed, so it is going to be seeking to collect with the early lead over Frosty Shop in second. Up on the outside now, Tiz Ruddy Ben is in the 3rd position. Back against the rail.
It doesn't look, I mean, the 9, not exactly where it needs to be.
The 4 is not looking great. Negative barn switch. The 2, 4's trying to come back, but I just don't know if you're going to be able to win from there.
Near the top of the lane after a half a mile.
The 2 looks like it just might be long gone.
Looks like we have a long shot.
Oh, maybe not. Didn't switch leads good, and it drifted out.
Oh my Lord! I don't know what Paco's doing on the 9. Jeez.
It looks like it's going to be the 6. The 4 came way too late.
The 4 are flying late.
I don't know what
flying late, Steve-O.
I don't know what happened there with the 4 early on in there. I got a little choppy reception, but the 6 ended up winning, and the guy in first place had it. That went 6. Here it is. 6-2, or was it 5? Let me see. 6. Looks like the 5 got up. 6-5. Okay, so 6-5.
659, I think.
So Alexander Geisy had the winner. Josh was in the lead coming in. And Greg Smith had the 5 down there. My 4 came way too late. Close but no cigar. So I'm pretty much drawing dead in this tournament. Unless the 7 is a complete bomb. Because there's 2. No, yeah, I'm done. I'm eliminated. Okay. You were saying, Mike, the BCBC.
BCBC, NHC, real quickly, which do you prefer and why, if you could only be in one of them?
Do you want to take that first to Casper's?
Yeah. For me, I think it's all about preference. I think it's all about style, right? I've moderated in my old age, and I don't think one opinion is right and one opinion is wrong. I sort of just like, no, they're just 2 different types of tournaments. The way that the Masters is different from the U.S. Open is different from the PGA, whatever. For me personally, the NHC is my best chance of winning $750,000, right? The BCBC, if I got into a position where I had 100,000 in the BCBC because of a bet I made, I'm probably getting caught, and I'm not winning that thing, right? Because I just don't play that high. I don't have the mindset necessary to succeed in that. That's why I like the Hawthorne tournament so much. I have the mindset necessary to succeed in this in a where it's 1,000 or 1,500 or 2,000. If it's 100,000, I'm just like, I don't know what I would do, but it would not be the most optimal game theory type of thing. On the other hand, in the NHC, I think that there are people who truly hate the format of the NHC. I've actually come to embrace it. The notion of 8 mandatories that we're all stuck playing, and then 10 optionals across about 65 races. It actually feels like the right combination to me, and I think it's a free for all. I think it's for guys who chase prices, but I don't think that's the only way that you can succeed. And so I would tend to gravitate toward the NHC a little bit more.
Okay, yeah, for me, it was always the NHC before. The BCBC is a one-day event, and physically and mentally, it's easier to prepare for it, and because the horses, they're all, you could do a little brush up on the Euros and the Japanese horses, but all the American horses, it's a one-day event. Well, it's a 2-day event, but most of your big bets are on Saturday. You could play at home. Based on the information that I heard playing live at Delamar, that was kind of nerve-wracking. Big crowds, hard to do this, do that.
Yeah, there was a machine shortage for sure.
The NAC is a convention for horse players and people in the horse industry. And the cool thing is it's, you've heard this a million times, the camaraderie. You get to see all your friends in the horse racing business and their other peers and players. And the one negative for me is, and I got maybe get out there earlier, bring some muscle milks and some other things, and maybe not drink when you got 2 entries in the top 10 on a Friday, and you just show up on a Saturday and just wing it. But it could get tiring. I mean, you could get.
Oh, it's exhausting. Are you kidding me?
It's dry. When they say it's dry air out there, it's dry. I'm like, you get bring some chapstick, drink a lot of water, because even though you're indoors, it's still dry. I mean,
but Mike, my wife says, "Oh, go to Vegas, have a good time with your friends," and I'm like, "Stop it! This This is work.
Oh,
it is like a, I mean, just competing is a slog, but the 3 or 4 days leading up to it are really brutal, as well as you're trying to handicap all those different races.
Does Bethany know that you have taken 20-minute walks after a terrible DQ or a horse that got nosed out?
Yeah,
or
the
time you finished $1 out of making the final table?
That was tough. That was a tough one.
Does Bethany know about that?
Yeah.
Okay.
She thinks it's a game.
I like them both, but I go back to what Steve said, and it's kind of a social event as well as a handicapping contest where you get to see everybody. Everybody's in one room.
Yeah.
You get to talk to a lot of different people. It is a grind.
It's a grind. It's mentally exhausting.
Humanly possible, at least in my mind, it's not to handicap every optional race the way you'd like to.
Yeah. And table etiquette.
You've got to start early in the week.
Yeah.
I also, there's one thing let's say there's 700 entries in the NHC and you finish 71st, you get nothing.
Yeah.
You get nothing. In a live money contest, there's an additional element. There's not only handicapping, there's money management involved. And that's a critical part of a horse player's success or failure is money management. And that comes into play in any live money tournament. And if you don't finish in the top 20, you can still make a fair amount of money just off your bankroll and go home with some winnings. If you finish 71st or just outside the top 10% BCBC, that's a damn good showing. Or in the NHC, that's still a damn good showing, but you don't get any money to show for it. So
that's true. If they
pros and cons.
Even if they converted, I've often wondered, what if they would turn the NHC into? So the number one thing I think I like about the NHC is people who don't care about money can't turn a single opinion into leverage. That to me is the most important thing. By the way, it's the most important thing to be successful in the BCBC, right? You've got to take your best opinion. You've got to lever up on that. And if you're right, you succeed. If you're wrong, you're out. But what if they turned the NHC into $20 win in place, right? And you actually ended up making, what is that? That's $20 win in place. You end up making $1,440 worth of wagers. And what do you turn that into? At least you don't walk away with, nothing. I think that would be an interesting idea. There are probably a lot of guys who go, I could care less about the $20 to win and play. Forget, but whatever. But if there was some sort of real money element to the NHC, I think that would be nice.
Of course, when you've done all that handicapping, you can also make live money bets in that room. It just doesn't figure in the
true. That's a good point.
Another variation I thought about for NHC is instead of $2 win place mythical, what if you had to say in any X number of races, you had to do a $4 or a $10 mythical win place?
So,
for which race?
Best bet.
So, Mike, were you familiar with the win contest when that was going?
No, I was not. That was before.
Okay, so they had a contest at the Win, and they had a variation on some rules. So the Win had no scoreboard, number one. So you did not know where you stood until the end of each day. It was a 2-day contest, no scoreboard until the end of the day. Steve-O, this is where I met Justin. This is where Brent and I met Justin Dew. But the second thing is the Win was 10 bets each day across 3 tracks. So you had 30 races, 10 bets, one of which was a double. So it was 2 to win in place, and then so it was 9 $2 win in place and 1 $4 win in place. And that was a nice variation on the rule that made for an interesting decision at each point. Yeah.
You let the bettor decide let the player decide which races he wants to give more weight to.
All right. Well, so since we're here, let me test market the Steve DeCasper's pyramid theory for you,
I'd like to know about this.
which is 5 $2 bets, 4 $4 bets, 3 $6 bets, 2 $8 bets, and 1 $10 bet.
And these are all mythical.
This is all mythical, but what it does is it allows a player to leverage. To gain some leverage, not BCBC leverage, not Matt Miller betting $44,000 on Chad Brown in the final race leverage, but it creates a series of bets at different levels. I think that would be more indicative of a good horse play. Like that would be it's more indicative of real horse playing, number one, in a mythical format. And B, it requires the horse player to allocate their assets differently, and so I think that would be an interesting.
The other thing it does, if you really like a long shot, a cap horse,
it
allows you to, you're still going to have the cap, but at least you can bet.
That's
more
right.
than the basic $2 win place.
That's right. And there's
nothing worse than you really love a cap horse. You're not just picking a number because you're desperate at the end, but you really love that cap horse and it hits and you don't get full value.
That's right. That's a really good point.
You partially address that if you could have a few extra wagers here and there.
So in my second or third NHC, I was sitting next to the Matisse brothers, right? Not like at a table right next to them. And we were both on the same 25-1 shot, which was a horse making its second start coming out of a race. I'm pretty sure at Mahoning Valley. And it was running at Gulfstream, and it was 25-1. And it was one where I was sort of like, it's a second-time starter. I liked the trainer. The jock move was right. The workouts were right. I took a shot. Somebody went up to one of the Matisse boys, and they said, what are you doing? You stabbing? The guy goes, hell no, I wasn't stabbing. I had $800 to win on that horse as well. I've been tracking biases at Mahoning Valley all winter long. And finally, that work paid off with this 25-1 shot. So he had I was stabbing. He had a genuine opinion on that. I would have put a $2 ticket on that horse. He might have put a $6 or $8 ticket on that horse in my format, and he would have been rewarded for not stabbing.
Yeah, and rewarded deservingly so.
Yes.
I don't know if they'll ever change the NHC like that. Maybe they would, or maybe have another tournament with those rules. And we've seen all the $2 win place. When you think about the majors, it's the BCBC, the NHC, and then you can throw in these Spawn Surfs and the Players Championship or whatever it's called.
Yeah.
Those are $2 win place, but they're live at least, as opposed to picking everything in the morning and hoping something sticks.
Indiana Grand used to be a $2 win in place, but now they've switched to more of a Hawthorne-esque format.
Yeah.
So, listen, I think there's a place for both types of tournaments, Mike. I think there's a place for mythical tournaments. I think there's a place for live money tournaments. I still think there's a place for something in between as well.
Well, maybe we'll start a third major tournament somewhere.
Maybe, but my problem is I don't want to start one because I like playing in it. Now you can't. I guess I just have to come up with the idea and then have somebody else administer it.
Guys, I got to run. It's been a pleasure.
Hey, good talking to you,
Mike. Go ahead, Mike. Thanks for joining in, and congrats again on your BCBC successes.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I have to run too, buddy. So you might be on your own for
this is the last race. I just want to see who's going to finish the tournament here, and then
how many we have watching us?
We got 64 people.
It's unbelievable.
Paying attention. We got interesting developments here. If the 3 wins here, we're gonna have a lot of some big shakeups on the leaderboard. Top 4 go.
Okay. Is this a private tournament?
What was that?
This is a HorseTourney's feeder to the Hawthorne Contest.
Oh, Mike, you're still here?
Yeah, is that a private tournament you got going on?
No, this is 4 people advanced to the afternoon, which I'll buy into.
Okay.
The afternoon Hawthorne contest.
Okay.
This is for an entry fee of like $1,000 to Hawthorne.
Good luck.
And I'm drawing dead. I was on the 7. It looks like me and Steve Wolfson. If the 7 doesn't hit the board, we're both gonna go 0 for 6.
All right, bye everybody. Thanks for watching.
My
Bye.
pleasure. Take care, guys.
Later, Stevie. Yeah. So this is the last race, and then I'm gonna watch this, see who wins, and then I'm done. Oh, Mike just jetted off too. So let's see what happens here.
Horses approaching and at the gate. It's post time. Post time for race 5.
And looking at the
Hill Prince.
it looks like the
Grade 3,
standings. It looks like Curtis Meyer.
Mile and an eighth. On the outer turf.
And this horse is 2-1, the 3. So I don't know if that's going to help. The 2 will help a little bit for him. See, Marco, Odoricio. He's got the 1 here at 9-1. There's nobody in front of him, so that'll get him in if the 1 wins here. So we'll check out the final standings when it's done. And again, I landed on the 7. What did I like about the 7? Real quick. It's 9 panels. Oh, yeah, it's just not a very attractive pick. It is Bilmont. Hasn't won since a first level allowance at Keeneland in the spring, but
Bartlett steps
been running some tough races, and
Cugino.
Maybe he can stay close. The 1 is trying turf for the first time. Is going to try and wire, so I can see why
Deterministic.
Mark took that one. Hopefully I get enough pace to run into, and I'm sitting 4th early and can overpower him. But I did so terribly early on, I'm not going to be able to make any room on the leaderboard.
And Royal Majesty. Goes in. All set. The 50th running. And they're off. Bartlett has speed towards the inside. Deterministic in the early mix, and Main Beach, who did break outward, is now going to be sharing with that early lead, but Bartlett assumes command, and Bartlett is in front by a neck. Here's Main Beach to cross over. Will Stock. Deterministic will take back to 3rd. Challenging 4th is Desfio, is going to be in the 3 path as they work into that turn. And behind them comes Right to Vote, and towards the outside of Right to Vote comes Royal Majesty with the early trailer Guccino. They're going into that first turn, and Bartlett is the leader. Free running.
Well, one's got the lone lead as expected, but pretty quick.
Here from second, snug hold on Deterministic at the rail in 3rd. Desfio is
on a firm turf course.
Right to Vote is in between horses from 5th. Center of the course is going to be Royal Majesty and the trailer Cugino, but only about 3.5 off the lead. The lead is 23.43, and it's Bartlett. Bartlett, Frankie Pennington in front. They're up by a full length, 47-3 for that half-mile time. Here in pursuit is Main Beach, and Ortiz Jr. move in closer. Deterministic, still patiently ridden by Joel Rosario at the rail in 3rd. Desfio's win wide throughout with less than a half mile to go.
Still there.
Right to Vote is in behind horses. Far outside still is Royal Majesty with the trailer Cugino. Bartlett is in front. It's Bartlett. Maybe took an awkward step there, but Bartlett is now trying to open up on this field well into the turn. Bartlett trying to get out. It looks like Frankie Pennington trying to straighten Bartlett up as he's approaching the top of the lane. Bartlett has the lead, and Bartlett is trying to
Let's
take
see
it
if
all
Bartlett
the
can
way.
go all the way.
Deterministic
Where's that 7 at?
the outside. Main Beach
There
is
comes
in
the
pursuit.
7.
Right to Vote. Bartlett
Mow him
is
down
there.
out
It's
there.
Bartlett. Deterministic is now coming after the leader. Here's Deterministic to push inside. From the back, Royal Majesty is lifting late too. Cugino
Not going to get there.
Deterministic has a final 16th to get. It's
Not even gonna
Deterministic
get
now
second.
opening up by 2. Late rally from Cugino on the far outside, but Deterministic wins the Hill Prince.
All right, so the
Deterministic
3
over
won, the
Cugino.
favorite.
Then came Royal Majesty
And
Right to Vote in 1 minute 46.58 seconds.
so let's see. What is that going to do there? Where did that go? 3. Who ran second? Was it 3-4? No, it was 3-2. Yeah, I don't know how much that's going to help. 3/2. All right, let's check the leaderboard out. Okay, top 4 go. I don't know if Paul Hoffman's going to get in or not with that. Horse is 8-5. Boy, that's going to be tight. All depends on that place money. Let's see what the money looks like here. Wow, this is going to be tight. I'm going to buy in, guys. You guys should get in too. Whoever plans on coming to Hawthorne. Let's see what the payout is. The second choice did run second, so the place money, the place pool probably got clobbered there.
Order finish. First the 3, Deterministic. Second the 2, Cugino. Third the 7, Royal Majesty. And fourth the 6, Right to Vote. 3-2-7-6 in race 5. Running time 1:46.58 in the Hill Prince.
Let's see what happens here. I don't know if it's going to be enough. Probably not. I think the top 4 might stay the same. Could be wrong here. It's official. Let's see what the payouts are. See if I got an update here. There it is. And, oh, man. No, not even close. I wasn't. Okay, not even close. So Tyler hung on. Josh Thorpe's in there. Of course, Gary Lyons and Alexander Kaisi. So that's the top 4. They get a prize to go into the qualifier for $1,000 of entries. That'd be $500 for a couple of turns. I think it's each day, but you could probably move those around to one day if you wanted to. Just get a hold of Rhonda at Hawthorne. But anyway, that's who won. Anyway, I'll see you guys if you guys are going to play in the next tournament. I'm going to buy in and see what I can do. Handicap for those races. I think the first contest race goes off for the main tournament at, what's the first contest race? It's Aqueduct 7, so it's 12:50 Central Time, 1:40. So I got like less than an hour to cap that. So I'm going to get to work on that. It's Aqueduct, Gulfstream, and they're using Del Mar towards the end of the contest. So we'll see what we can do there. Guys, thanks for joining in. It was a short and sweet little webcast today. We'll see you next time.